handful of the nitty-gritty questions that you have. And so that's kind of how we're going to try to run this today. I'm going to read you stuff. I'm going to read you our notes, and then Ashlyn's going to kind of hone in on making it understandable, answering your questions about it. So if you have questions at any point, while we're talking about stuff, just pop up your hand and we'll do our best. I'm going to, like I said, we've got 3 computers going. So I'm trying to record on one. We've got the screen that you can see, and I'm going to read from the other. So hopefully we can keep it all straight. But let's get started. This one, and this one.
Yeah.
Right there. Okay. So you guys know that we use the Healthy Steps Nutrition Framework. We've partnered with Healthy Steps Nutrition, and basically we use them to support our clients, and we use a framework that's guided, tested, and proven. So we're not just trying to create this from scratch. They have a program that's helped over 45,000 people. We are now kind of affiliates of them, and we can help you through them and their information and their education. We know that helping you become the best and healthiest version of yourself isn't just about what you eat or going to the gym a few hours a week. We have to focus on a holistic approach by addressing nutrition, stress management, mindset, support system, and lifestyle. And that's kind of what this is. It's a little bit of everything. Thanks. You won't be able to see the teeny tiny success stories up here, but there are a lot of them. Healthy Steps Nutrition has helped over 45,000 people around the world take control of their health. These are some of their stories. One thing that you want to do if you are trying to create your own success story is to find harmony with gut health. And that's kind of what we're here today. You can apply a diet to your lifestyle. You can, add fitness to your routine. But we kind of have to tackle everything that's going on. And so that's the point of today. We've got to look at gut health now and really dig deep into all the little things that we can do to make our bodies better. Did you know that our body contains trillions of different bacteria? Trillions. When we hear bacteria, we may think of this with a negative connotation, but bacteria in and around our body are crucial for our health, especially gut health. When we discuss bacteria in our gut, we refer to this as our gut microbiota. Ever heard of that one before? The term gut microbiota refers to the many microorganisms that live within the human gastrointestinal system, commonly known as gut flora or gut microbiome. I'm sure you've heard of that one. These microorganisms play a crucial role in maintaining digestion and overall health, including our metabolism, immune system, hormone balance, and mental health. Who would have thought? Perfect. Let me get that one. Okay. The gut microbiota is a complex and dynamic system that can be influenced by a variety of factors, including diet, lifestyle, and genetics. In order to gain a better understanding, it's important to recognize that our gut bacteria consists of various populations of types of bacteria that contribute to our overall health. Various groups of organisms are in competition for resources to sustain and proliferate, and the nourishment we obtain from our diet and surroundings is a contributing factor to this rivalry. This is where things start to get sciencey and specific. So if you have questions, you pop it up and Ashlyn's going to answer. Here's an example for you. Numerous studies have examined the Western diet and how it impacts our gut health. Studies have found that a Western diet, which is typically high in processed and refined foods, saturated fats, and sugars, leads to a decrease in the diversity of good gut bacteria and a higher count of harmful species. Furthermore, studies have revealed that following this dietary trend can lead to a reduction in the production of short-chain fatty acids within the body. So these are acids that are essential for maintaining the health of our gut, as they aid in regulating our immune function, metabolism, and the overall well-being of our gut lining. This shift leads to inflammation, gut dysbiosis, poorer gut lining, and increased risk for health complications, including obesity, metabolic disorders, inflammatory bowel disease, and certain types of cancers.
So going off of that, I'm not going to dive too much into the gut health stuff just because there's so much that we're going to talk about on that. But Western diet, that is the typical American diet, if you've never heard that term used before. And so, like I said, beyond gut health, the modern Western diet also increases our intake of sodium, LDL cholesterol, which is our bad cholesterol, HDL is good cholesterol, trans fat, and saturated fat, which basically leads to less elastic arteries, which causes an increase in the pressure of blood volume in our arteries because the blood can't circulate the same way, which ultimately causes hypertension, which then is the number one cause for cardiovascular disease, which is the number one cause of death in America. And so it leads to tons of multitudes of cardiovascular issues and kidney issues. So that's just another tidbit as to why whole foods are important. And yeah.
All right. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm like trying to stand on my tiptoes so I can read and see you guys. I know, right? Okay. I know. So, contrarily, research has found that eating more whole foods, which focus on minimally processed foods, has had a positive impact on gut health by promoting more diversity of healthy gut microbiota. This healthy shift leads to reduced gut inflammation, improved gut barrier function, and reduces risk of the chronic diseases mentioned earlier. Research is finding that what people are consuming in their diet has a more powerful effect on the makeup of their microbiomes than their genetics. So that's a big deal. So we have a baseline understanding of the importance of a healthy gut and how our food can impact it, right? Questions? No? So how can we start to trust our gut? We're going to divide. We're going to dive into 3 tips that you can start to take action on today to improve your gut. All right, tip number 1, focus on whole foods first with an emphasis on a variety of fruits and vegetables. Easy peasy. It's simple, but is it easy? Okay, after discussing how our diet has an impact on our gut microbiota diversity, it helps us to understand that focusing on whole foods first is tip number 1. We should focus on eating more whole foods, including whole foods in your diet, such as fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, and nuts. They can all provide your body with dietary fibers and essential nutrients that aid in the growth of good bacteria in your gut, like bifidobacteria and lactobacillus. Let me tell you, at night we read this Dr. Seuss book to the kids, and it's called Too Many Daves, and it's a mom who names all her 24 sons Dave, and like she's like, I should have named them like Biffalo Buff and Buffalo Biff, and anyway, that's just what that reminded me of. Bifidobacteria. Anyway, studies have found that a whole foods diet can increase the production of short-chain fatty acids, which are important for gut health and overall health. So these acids have an anti-inflammatory property and are involved in regulating immune function, maintaining the integrity of the gut lining, and regulating metabolism. Additionally, consuming a variety of different fruits and vegetables provides our bodies with antioxidants that protect the lining of our gut by controlling inflammation. This decreased inflammation allows our healthy bacteria to flourish.
Okay, so I got a lot going on from this slide. So, as she said, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, basically those increase the amount of those short chain fatty acids that your gut produces. So it's not like a fat that you consume, it's literally what your gut produces, but those foods are what enhance that production. So to get even more scientific, these short chain fatty acids are, I don't know if anyone's ever taken organic chemistry, but they are fat chains that are 6 carbons or less. And these help with the synthesis of fiber, and fiber is obviously really important for our digestive system. And without them, our gut will produce the bad bacteria rather than the good bacteria. So going off of this, carbohydrates have a very negative connotation. Keto diet is a fad diet, I'm not going to lie. But this is why carbohydrates are important for our diet. It's just important we emphasize whole grains rather than refined grains. And if you don't know the difference, refined grains do not contain the whole entire grain, hence whole grain versus refined grain. Only the carbohydrate, which does not provide our body with the nutrients we need for sustainable energy. And then going on to the last topic, she touched on vitamins. So we talked about antioxidants, which anytime someone hears antioxidants, at least I think of vitamin E because that's main purpose is an antioxidant. But it's also important that you emphasize ascorbic acid, which is vitamin C, and all B vitamins. B vitamins do not get enough hype because all B vitamins act as coenzymes, which means they enhance the action of enzymes and speed up the benefits of what's happening in our body. And so these 2 vitamins, as well as vitamin E, are really crucial for inflammation in the gut.
So, vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and get a really good multivitamin. My doctor actually has me on it's a now I can't think of the word. It's a multivitamin that's got like the live cultures. Anyway, I'll think of it later. But it's no, it's Fermented. It's a fermented vitamin. It's a women's fermented multi.
And honestly, it's hard to say. I'm not gonna lie, any multivitamin that you get like prescribed to you by a doctor, which anyone can get a multivitamin prescribed to them, is going to be 10 times better than going to Target and taking like, what's that brand, the like one with the hummingbird, you guys, it's like super popular. Yes, like anything is going to be better than that, but also any multivitamin is going to be better than no multivitamin.
Yeah. And I can send you what my doctor recommended. She's amazing. So just text me and remind me.
And you can get like topical ones too.
Like the multi-packs that have like hair, skin, and nails, so it has all of that.
So they are all good. It just, so my thing with like getting them prescribed is your doctors can personalize the amount of each nutrient that is like beneficial to you. For, can I use you as an example?
Oh, yeah.
So Steph found that she had like high potassium levels, which, so therefore she probably doesn't need a multivitamin that's going to have super high potassium. So her doctor could go in there, and sometimes you just get like a generic one that they prescribe to people. But another example, my boyfriend's parents, they're on the carnivore diet. Once again, another fat diet. But they don't need like the nutrients that you would get from like red meat and all that stuff. So they have one that's like specifically tailored to the lack of fruits and vegetable intake. So those nutrients. So I just talked to your doctor. It's interesting. But like I said, anything's better than nothing.
Yeah, and if you need doctor recommendations, I got a good one. Like she'll run full panel on everything, hormones, blood work. Yep, yeah. Just remind me at the end. I'll give you her information. She's like a 2-month wait to get into, but well worth it. Okay, so we are going to move on. So if you struggle to eat more fruits and vegetables, we're going to start to aim slow and build these up. So example, if you're currently eating only about 1 cup or maybe 1 fist of veggies at dinner, next week make it a goal to add the same amount at lunchtime by prepping extra veggies when you're cooking dinner for the next day. Once you do that, and you're getting pretty good at that, maybe start to add 2 fists of veggies at dinner while maintaining the 1 fist of veggies at lunch. When that feels easy, try 2 fists of vegetables for dinner and 2 fists of vegetables at lunch, or half your plate veggies at dinner, half your plate lunch. My favorite places to add fruits include snacks paired with yogurt, add some almonds in there, even maybe a breakfast smoothie. Another benefit of eating more whole foods may increase your fiber intake, which is going to bring us to number 2. Tip number 2. Computer 1, computer 2, computer 3. Okay. Tip number 2 is consume pre and probiotics. So pre and probiotics play a very important role in gut health. Prebiotics are non-digestible fibers that are fermented by the bacteria in our gut, which allows them to grow and multiply. Think of this as the food for the bacteria. Probiotics are the actual live microorganisms that provide us with the many benefits that we've already discussed. So pre and probiotics.
So just to make that a little bit more simpler, probiotics are basically the good bacteria that we've been talking about, what our gut wants and needs. While prebiotics are responsible for the production and growth of probiotics, aka the good bacteria, and that we need for gut health. So honestly, research has been showing that taking like a prebiotic is better than a probiotic because your gut naturally will have those probiotics from like the foods you consume. The prebiotics is just gonna enhance that production. So, fun fact.
Okay, so we're going to start with prebiotics or fiber. A study published in 2017 found that fiber allows our healthy gut bacteria to thrive, leading to thicker mucus walls, decreased inflammation, and better digestion. Researchers searched for diets highest in fiber to get a better understanding when they found the Hada, a Tanzanian tribe. This tribe is known for being one of the last hunter-gatherer communities in the world, but their diet consisted of an incredible 100 grams of fiber per day. As a result, their gut biome was found to be packed with diverse bacteria. Please do not take this information drastically and increase your fiber to 100 grams a day. Too much fiber too quickly can cause distress in your GI, leading to gas, bloating, constipation even. So you should aim to include about 25 to 30 grams each day. Most people eating a normal, or I would say a typical Western diet, are not getting 30 grams of fiber per day. So starting to pay attention to fiber is huge. And it's something that we're seeing more and more of right now, and how total fiber intake is connected to better health in general.
So I was just going to add on. I did a research project on gastrointestinal issues, which ultimately are going to stem from disruption in our gut microbiome. So if you guys are diet people and don't want fad diets, a low FODMAP diet, Mediterranean diet, elimination diet, which would just be cutting out foods that cause inflammation for you. You notice you get bloated from it, or get constipated, diarrhea, anything like that, are great non-fad diets that kind of resemble the plate method, just in a more specific manner that target gut health. The low FODMAP diet is the main treatment for IBS. So.
I need to ask you questions about that for my mom later.
Oh, of course.
All right. Well, okay. Foods that are considered great prebiotics include fruits like bananas and vegetables like greens, onions, and garlic, as well as nuts and whole grains. Probiotics can be found in yogurt, kefir, fermented foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, miso, kombucha, and tempeh, and some cheeses that typically say live cultures or active cultures. It is recommended to consume 10 to 20 billion CFUs to support a healthy gut and strong immune system. All right, and the final tip for gut health is managing your stress, which may surprise you.
Literally said that as I walked out the door.
All right, so recent research has shed light on the connection between gut health and mental health. It has become clear that these two are closely linked and can impact each other in various ways. Why? The gut and brain are connected through the gut brain axis, which is a complex communication system that involves the nervous system, the immune system, and the endocrine system. Our gut is providing this axis with neurotransmitters, hormones, and signaling molecules that influence our brain and behavior. When we have poor gut health, we have discussed this increases inflammation, which affects our brain, leading to mental health conditions such as depression, anxiety, and even cognitive issues. During our conversations, we've touched upon the importance of gut health in aiding digestion. In cases of poor gut health, deficiencies in essential nutrients such as omegas, B vitamins, and magnesium can occur, which have been linked to depression. Oops. One randomized control trial put this to the test and found surprisingly quick recovery in participants with depression. This study found that when their participants were provided with zero point 0.4 milligrams of vitamin B12, 0.8 of folic acid, and 125 to 300 milligrams of magnesium each day, led to rapid recovery from major depression in a week's time. Isn't that kind of like amazing? So please keep in mind that you should not be adding any supplementation to your diet without first discussing with your primary care physician. But that's pretty darn cool if you ask me.
So, dumbing that down, I guess, because it's a lot of information. Overall, the way I think of it is think about if you have like a nutrient deficiency, something is out of whack with your body. Having high stress is like a nutrient deficiency. When anything is out of line and with your normal like state, it's going to cause a disruption in our body. So stress causes a disruption in the microbiome, which leads to inflammation in our gut. But then it also causes your brain to signal a flight or fight response, which I'm sure we've all heard before, to our large intestine, which stops the digestive muscles from doing their job. So it's going to lead to bloating, constipation, nausea, cramping, and any type of GI symptom means that there's something wrong in our gut. So that's just a pretty good indicator. But that's how the brain connects to the gut.
Okay, so we're going to tie this back to stress management. Studies also show that our gut influences the release of hormones, and more specifically, stress hormones such as cortisol. This dysregulation can contribute to mental health complications. So here are 3 ways to manage your stress. All right, number 1, we're going to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is simply a way to be present in your surrounding thoughts and behaviors. Some of our favorite ways to practice mindfulness include box breathing, meditation, yoga. Number 2, we're going to move our bodies. Exercise is such a powerful way to manage stress. Exercise reduces our cortisol and increases those feel-good endorphins, If working out feels like a big task, make it easier. Try walking outside for 5 to 15 minutes after lunch each day. You guys are here, so I know that you have a place to come and exercise. But if you can't get in one day, or even if it's just a morning that you're having high stress, if you can just get out in the sun and go for a walk, like that's going to help tremendously. Number 3, we're going to prioritize self-care. We need to take time for ourselves every single day. So try reading a book or listening to something on podcast instead of just scrolling through social media. Spend more time outside if you can. Go for a hike, go for a walk, have a picnic. Take your lunch outside if you're able to. Ensure that you're connecting with friends and family, people that make you happy on a regular basis. Okay, so all of those things are really important.
So then also, I'm sure you guys know what cortisol is, but when we have a high release of cortisol, which is the main stress hormone, it basically slows down our metabolism, which is why people that like have high stress tend to gain weight, just because the foods we eat have thermogenic effects on our body. So like protein, it takes the most calories to burn it. So that's why eating high protein, people say, leads to more weight loss. But when we have this high cortisol, it basically just like stops that, and your body stores fat for energy, and your foods stop getting broken. They stop getting digested through the calorie burning. Does that make sense?
That's really cool. It's awful, but it's cool.
Yeah. Because who isn't stressed?
Right. Okay, so now that we've explored the 3 tips you can start focusing on to improve your gut health, let's take a moment to discuss the 3 core principles that have changed the lives of people around the world. Number 1, and you hear me preach it all the time, focus on whole foods first. Choose whole food options, less processed foods packaged with sodium, fat, and sugar. Simple way to start this is by reshaping your plate using the plate method. Number 2, we're going to focus on a balance of macronutrients. So when we say balance, we mean every meal and snack should have some carbs, some protein, some fat. Pairing each meal and snack with all 3 of these macronutrients will help keep you fuller for longer. Most people feel their best while fueling their busy days and activity with about 40% carbs, 30% fat, 30% protein. That can vary per individual, but that's like your baseline where you would start. And number 3, limit the number of processed carbs and sugars that you're eating every single day. The AHA recommends no more than 6 teaspoons of added sugars for women and 9 for men. That comes to about 24 grams of sugar for women and about 36 grams of sugar for men a day. But the average person is consuming over 150 pounds of sugar per year, and that's 46 teaspoons per day. Okay, keep that in mind. So it's not surprising. Sugar isn't everything. It's super addicting. Everything that's in a package is putting sugar in it to make it taste better. So just be on the lookout for that.
That's just added sugar. That's not like total sugar.
Yeah, so that's just added sugar. So like 1 Coke is like over the recommended amount for a female. But fruits are good sugars.
Yes. And if you think about it too, most natural sugar occurs with fiber. And how amazing is fiber? Like wonderful, right? So like the sugar in strawberries, right? Blueberries. Maddie piped up from the back. She's like, strawberries. Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, so like the sugar that's in strawberries or blueberries are accompanied by so many vitamins and nutrients and water and fiber that it's like the sugar doesn't even matter at that point, Okay.
So I was gonna say, like, when I work with like younger kids in like preschools and stuff, I always tell them like vegetables and fruits are fiber's friend. So those like non-artificial, like natural sugars are actually like kind of like I'm blanking right now, but they just help the absorption of fiber the same way those short chain fatty acids do and stuff.
It's a buddy. It takes the sugar through.
Fiber works best when you eat it with that's
sugar.
why whole grains, they contain the fiber and the carbohydrate, and that's really good for you compared to a refined grain, which is just the carbohydrate and probably not a naturally occurring carbohydrate.
All right, so now we'd like to take time to answer some of the most popular FAQs. All right. Typical, very popular question here. Do I need to take supplements? And we even touched a little bit on this earlier. After hearing about some of the studies today, as well as the focus on pre and probiotics, it's natural to wonder if supplementation is right. And a lot of people do want to take like fiber supplements to make sure they're hitting that fiber goal. It's not always necessary to take supplements to meet your nutritional needs. Some supplements can be helpful, but it's generally better to just obtain your nutrients from whole foods whenever you can. Whole foods provide a variety of nutrients, including vitamins, minerals, fiber, and antioxidants. They all work together to promote health and well-being. It's kind of like what Ashlyn was saying about how like the foods work together in your body. Additionally, whole foods can contain other beneficial compounds that supplements do not, such as phytochemicals, which have been shown to have anti-inflammatory and anti-cancer properties. Taking too many supplements can also be harmful to your health. Some supplements can interact with medications or cause side effects, and higher doses of certain nutrients can be toxic. So, if you're concerned about meeting your needs, it's best to focus on eating a balanced diet that includes a variety of whole foods, like we've discussed today. And then, if you have a specific nutrient deficiency or health condition that requires supplementation, it's important to work with a healthcare professional to determine the appropriate supplement and dosage. I try to read all that really fast.
Going off of that, a lot of, I would say, like interprofessional practice is so important because a doctor probably took one nutrition course in college compared to a dietitian who that's their main focus study, and they might not know the drug nutrient interaction, but drug nutrient interaction is like so real. So if you ever start taking a new medication, I 100% recommend looking into it yourself or asking a dietitian or Steph or I, like what it's going to cause a deficiency in or an increase in, because toxicity of nutrients is also a real thing, and that
Which we realized talking at the last session when we were here that my high potassium levels stem from the fact that I take levothyroxine, which is a thyroid medication. So that medication will, did you say, increase the potassium
increase
levels?
potassium, decrease calcium.
Yeah. So very, very interesting, right? Okay, and then another popular question, what if I don't like veggies? Like, I don't even have to read this because I've talked about it so much. If you don't like vegetables, you just need to keep trying them, but you need to cook them differently. And I'd say this all the time. I think the best way to eat vegetables is to buy the frozen ones, put them in the microwave, steam them, get them to the point where they're edible, and then put them in the oven or the air fryer with a little bit of olive oil, salt, and pepper, and roast them so they have a nice little crunch to them. Once I told my mom to do that, she now eats air fried carrots every single day. She loves it. So there you go. Like there's always a vegetable for you. You don't have to eat all of them, but try a variety, but cook them in several different ways. Okay. Okay, and then sometimes people say, look, I'm going to do all of this, but I just don't know where to start. So that's another good question. If you want to start, we recommend starting with one thing at a time and figuring out what is the most, I want to say, not even the most important thing that you should be starting with, but the one that you're most excited about starting. And that's how we start with all of our clients too. We don't say like, hey, like your water is really low, we should probably tackle that. We say, what are you excited about starting with? What do you want to focus on first? Because then you're more likely to do it and then succeed. And we can tackle those other things later. But we want to always start one thing at a time. If you start with one thing, you will be 80% successful maintaining that one thing. And if you focus on two things, you become 30% less successful. And then if you focus on three things at a time, you'll actually be about 5% successful in reaching your goals. So a lot of people come in and like, oh, I want to do this, that, and the other. We say, no. Start with one thing and tackle it. Don't do too much because your likelihood of success is just going to fall. Today we discussed many reasons why we should focus on our gut health, including improved digestion, overall health, stronger immune system, to decrease our risk for chronic illness and improve mental health. As you think about the three tips, eating whole foods, increasing pre and probiotics, and then managing your stress, where do you feel that you have the most room for improvement, and how can you start to take action? That's what I want you to think about. Like, where within that realm can you start to take action? Any thoughts? Well, as you're thinking, if you need accountability, support and accountability. You were going to say something. That's why I hesitated.
I thought that was a rhetorical question.
But no, I want you to answer. Where do you think that you need
Veggies.
the veggies?
I mean, I like them, but I'm lazy. So.
Get the frozen ones. A lot of people think, oh, I need to eat fresh to be healthy, and frozen vegetables are very good for you. They're picked and then they're flash frozen right away. So all the nutrients that they could get when they come out of the ground or wherever they're coming from, a vine, stem, a tree, I don't know, wherever they're coming from, right? They're flash frozen immediately, and all those nutrients are still there. So I get frozen vegetables all the time, and then
it's
roast.
better than like getting, because think about the transportation that a fresh like produce option has gone through, and that's sitting in the grocery store for who knows how long. It's about to go bad. It's probably lost most of its nutrient value compared
Mhm.
to frozen.
And even canned vegetables are better than no vegetables. You know, start small. So start with that one fist, right?
For dinner?
Yeah, one fist for dinner. When that's easy, add a fist to lunch. When that's easy, add another fist to dinner. When that's easy, add another fist at lunch.
The ultimate goal is 2 fists for lunch and dinner.
Half
Mhm.
a plate.
Yeah, half a plate.
I'm okay with it.
And that's a lot of fiber then, too.
What about
So
breakfast?
fruit.
I find eating vegetables at breakfast is way easier than
See,
eating.
Really?
Yeah, like
That's interesting
spinach and
because
eggs and like.
yeah, last week we had someone tell us that
Yeah,
the
same thing.
opposite. They're like, "How do I get vegetables at breakfast?" But yeah, that's what I said. Eggs. It's so easy to just.
Yeah.
I love a good old Western
Egg
omelet.
Mhm. Egg casseroles, yeah.
Yep.
The egg
Even
muffins,
smoothies,
put them in
you can
there.
add spinach and it all tastes
Hmm
good.
And you said, what about fruit?
Fruit, I have more issue now, believe it or not, is the eating the fruit. So I'm trying to push that with my snack.
I'm kind of with you. I'm not a big fruit person, but like I'll have strawberries or blueberries with my egg muffin in the morning for breakfast. That's like my carb that I eat is fruit with that egg muffin. And then a snack, I usually put fresh fruit in my yogurt. So there's another way. Or like today, what did I have? I made like an egg salad for my lunch, and I ate it on lettuce. And so I was like, I still need more carbs than that. So I grabbed an apple because I thought that went well. So that's some ways to add some fruit
Do you
in.
not like fruit, or is it just
No,
like,
just well, this whole process has been, the first shock of you don't diet
Mhm.
and you
it's
and
simple?
you have to eat all this stuff, and instead of do not eat this,
Right.
it's kind of been a whole different mindset.
So
But it's just, I think.
Yeah, like you're learning how to add food back in where you've been told, cut this out, cut this out, cut this out, cut this out.
Yeah, so that was a real shocker when we started the first nutrition seminar, and I was like, I was waiting for a list
Yeah.
of this is what you eat,
I was gonna
and
say,
this is what you don't eat, and we didn't get that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Stop dieting.
What do you eat for breakfast usually?
The eggs, like
He's going to tell on you. He said a milkshake.
those are smoothies sometimes.
See, that's what I was gonna say. If you like smoothies, just getting in the routine of like, because the amount of frozen fruit you put in a smoothie is, I would say, vegetables. I'm not gonna lie, are more essential, I think,
Mhm.
than
And I
fruits.
think that's what I was gonna say.
So, like, if you just eat fruits with breakfast and a decent serving, and then focus on those half a plate of veggies at lunch and dinner, you're doing just
I usually use
fine.
the breakfast casserole, which
Mhm.
has spinach or greens. I have the greens, sweet potatoes. I usually use around those.
I was like, I know what you
Looking
mean.
cabbage things, Brussels sprouts,
Oh, yeah,
chopped up and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just been.
Eat those things.
Yeah, but if
Roast
you cut
them.
different.
Every way.
No,
but
you can't do
For
it.
the breakfast casserole,
That's
you
funny.
you shred them up. You don't even know what's in there. You have no idea it's in there.
Yeah.
I'll try it once.
You saute
You
it
have to
in
bring
there.
me a piece and then
I'll
I'm
get it
gonna
to
be
it.
like, don't tell
But I
me.
think
Those only-
my thing was, I'm still thinking sugar.
Uh-huh.
That's because I was so addicted to sugar that if I start eating too much fruit, same thing. It's gonna.
No, it's got the fiber. It's got the, yeah. We just have to like get that, it's,
So the
work it out of
more
your
you
brain.
eat like whole foods,
Wait.
and fruit is a whole food, the more you're gonna crave it. It's the so anything that's an added sugar, that's a whole different. Like, don't even think of them as the same. So the more you eat bad food, you're gonna crave bad food. The more you eat good food, you're gonna crave it. So fruits are not gonna change that craving because it's in that whole food category, and that's just the way our body works.
I can attest to that. I'm not a big fruit person, and I've not liked strawberries my whole life. And now I'm starting to eat strawberries, and I actually want strawberries. I'm like, okay, this is new. This is a good thing. Like I am starting to actually enjoy. The other day we went to Brielle's school, not school, her class had an end of year ice cream party at one of the parents or whatever their houses. And I'm the type of person that's like, who puts fruit with ice cream? Like I'm going for sprinkles, and like if I'm having ice cream, I'm doing it right, and I'm putting all the topping right. And I had one scoop of vanilla, and I filled the plate. I mean, there's a couple crushed Oreos in there too. But then I filled the rest of the bowl with strawberries and blueberries. I'm like, look at me. Like, I just put fruit with ice cream. I've never done this in my life. And I ate it, and it was so good. So, like, there is a testament to that. Like, when you start eating those things, you do want them more. I never thought I would like strawberries. I really do.
That's weird.
I know. I'm sorry. Everyone loves strawberries.
Oh, I hate 'em.
And I'm like, I just think they're kind of sour. Yeah, no. Well, you got to start eating them because then you start liking them.
I'm almost craving some right now, and I don't even like them.
Yes.
So
You keep
good.
Just
talking
because we're
about
talking
it.
about
Without
the
putting
fungo
all the
already.
sugar in it. Usually it's when you have a couple
Yeah.
strawberries and you cup sugar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's sitting
I'd say.
Yeah.
Which is why if you put them with like the yogurt, it kind of cuts that
Mhm.
tartness because vanilla yogurt.
Mhm.
Yeah, dark chocolate's a great
Whenever I'm
antioxidant.
craving something sweet, I'll just
Yeah.
sugar free
Well,
dark
even
chocolate
my-
and then
yeah,
strawberry.
Yeah, even
Yeah.
my nutrition coach is like a little dark chocolate. It's not bad for you stuff.
Yeah.
So
It's great for heart
Yeah.
health. Like my grandfather had a heart attack, and they were like, the only sweet you can eat, dark chocolate, and he took advantage
Wait
of
a
that.
minute. No hot sauce. Oh, hot sauce.
hot sauce. We put that on everything.
Oh, that's how I get my water.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
hot sauce.
Hot sauce on
Everything.
I put hot sauce on everything.
Well, we're basically done, guys. I'll let you go. We just want to say, remind you, this nutrition program has helped thousands of people. We have helped a lot of people in this gym. And then if you are ever looking for anything to listen to, like if you're trying to work on your headspace or like de-stress a little bit and you just need something new and refreshing, check out the Nutrition Made Simple podcast because all of these topics that we're talking about are there. You can scroll through, find your favorite, find something that's interesting to you and listen to them. But it's all like this. It's just tidbits of information with professionals talking about nutrition, and you can learn a ton, and it's free. So, any more questions?
Wait a minute. No hot sauce.
They already talked about hot sauce.
Yeah,
It's
mine
great.
is too hot.
Not too hot.
It's too high.
I do have a rule. If I wouldn't feed it to my dog, I probably shouldn't feed it to myself. So if it's too high in sugar, too high in salt, too spicy, although I don't know, I think the spicy is fine.
Yeah, I love spicy food. But
Yeah.
too much can cause some.
A little discomfort.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to end this recording.